Have you just done your ACL, or maybe you're just looking for some extra information on how we manage ACL injuries? Well, you've come to the right place. If you'd asked me this question maybe 5 or 10 years ago, the answer would have been surgery. In fact, 90% of ACL injuries did result in surgery or repair. The thought was that would get back to sport more quickly and would reduce the risks of arthritis later on in life. But these days we're actually starting to find that surgery lengthens the recovery process a little bit, and the outcomes, so the results of rehab, so strengthening and getting into surgery, are exactly the same versus surgery versus a conservative management, which, like I spoke about, is strengthening, slowly building you back up to a sport. So ACL injury doesn't mean blanket surgery anymore, which is a relief for most people, I would hope. These days, we're actually recommending that you get into a period of what we call prehab, so prehabilitation we call it, which is slightly different to rehab. So that's usually a 3-month period where we do some strengthening, we get your agility back, we have a look at how the knee's moving, and most of the time, people get back to doing their sport. I've had people get back into high rocks, which is a pretty crazy sport, running around, lifting all sorts of heavy weights, throwing things against walls. I've got people back into football without needing surgery. It's not to say you definitely won't need surgery, I can't guarantee that. There's the odd case where you're getting back to really high level sport, where time is a big priority, or the knee is just continuing to be unstable, then we might consider surgery, but the chances of that happening are so much smaller these days. And in a lot of cases, like I was saying, it doesn't enhance outcomes. And you going in there, doing things to the knee, it's never going to be as good as it was. And there's actually research coming out that the ACL can actually regrow. So 1 in 3 people are actually finding that the ACL is repairing itself, which we don't need to do surgery at all. So irrespective of whether you've had surgery or not, you need to come in, get it assessed, and then we start the rehab process. So there's a guide that we follow these days that was written by Cooper and Hughes and takes us through a 5-step process to get you back to sport, football, AFL, hockey, whatever it might be, doesn't really matter. The goal is the same, get you out there back to your sport. So the first one is pre-op, that prehab sort of phase that we spoke about, getting you strong, getting you moving again, getting that knee range back again, so that when you do have the surgery, we're not starting you from a really, really low baseline. We get you back as quickly as we can. Then we move into either post-op or the phase 2, which is the biggest phase for us. It's about building your quad strength back up, in particular your hamstring strength. A lot of times that gets neglected and then that can cause re-injury, which is pretty common post-surgery. So we spend a lot of time getting your quads, hamstrings, getting all that strength back up to scratch. And then we move into phase sort of 3 and 4, which are your agility, hopping, running, jumping, getting back to sport, and getting your confidence with that. That's the scariest part about sport. People will go, oh, my knee's gonna give way, but we get you going here. We basically get you as high as we can, get you doing more than you would in sport, and then you know you're good to go, and then we build you back up slowly. And then phase 5 is really getting back to sport, keeping an eye on that throughout the whole process, and then letting you go. That's usually sort of a 9 to 12 month period. It does take a while. That's the way it works, unfortunately. Strength takes time to develop, agility, confidence, that all takes time to develop, but it's usually a pretty fun process for all of us involved. So if that's something that might be of interest to you, jump on our website or give us a ring if you want to chat about it some more, and we'll be happy to help you through your recovery process. So if you want some more information, we're also happy to help with that.